Okay, we're live. Hi there, everybody. I'm Alan from Beer with Alan. Just waiting to see some people join the live stream. Hopefully we get some folks in here. Today's stream is to do a live tasting of some Oktoberfest beers. Since this is the season, the Oktoberfest Festival officially started just a week or so ago. And there's always a lot of great beers that come out this time of year. I'm excited to taste them. These are kind of a mix of beers. Some are just called Oktoberfest. Some are called Fest beer. Some are called Marzen here in the US. And yes, I'm aware that in German it would be Märzen. And they're slightly different styles, but they all fit into that overall Oktoberfest umbrella. Taking a look to see as some people join. I've got the beers all poured out next to me. And in order to do this the right way, to do a tasting, I didn't want to know what was what. So my wonderful wife, I see what you said, that goth guy about giving it a minute. I did wait a bit right from the beginning. Wasn't sure quite how long to wait. To see, to get everybody to join, but it looks like we're a little slow to start here. The last time I did one of these live streams, it was on Instagram, back for when I hit my 2,500th different beer. And for that one, there were a couple thousand people in there right away. This is the first time I've done it on YouTube. I know my following on YouTube is a little bit different than on the other sites. Just hit 226,000 followers on Instagram today, I think, at about 42,000 on TikTok. Here on YouTube, only about 1,200 or so, maybe it's 1,300. But I know YouTube is particularly good on the live streams. And so I thought I would see if I could get people to come over here and give it a try. Again, I'm going to do a tasting of Oktoberfest beers. Hi to everybody who is saying hi there in the chat. My link on Instagram doesn't redirect to this live stream. You know, I knew I was going to screw that up. I posted my video today on all the sites, and somehow I managed to say that the live stream was in February instead of in September. I had taken a glance at my Mac and it said Friday, September 27th, and I guess my brain saw the F and said February. And I had no idea that I even did that until someone on TikTok commented that, that it said February. And I thought about deleting it, and I didn't want to remake the whole video or go through a bunch of editing, so I just didn't do it. Hi, Jessica Knapp. I'm doing well today. Thank you very much. And cheers to Justin for the Iceland Pale Ale that you're having at the moment. So I guess maybe I can kind of get started here. I wish I knew what I did as far as sharing the link, the wrong link on the Instagram story. So I apologize for that. But just to let you know, again, the beers that we're dealing with here today, we've got, the way I decided to do this was I went with two traditional German Bavarian beers for Oktoberfest. So one is the Eyinger Oktoberfest Märzen, which I made a video mentioning that beer about a week ago on the first day of Oktoberfest, and the Schneider Weiss Festweiss, which is an interesting one that I don't think I've had before. I then went for two US-based, more national kind of beers, not from my area. We've got the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest Fest beer. And this one, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but Sierra Nevada does a different Oktoberfest beer every year. Each time they do it in collaboration with a brewery from Germany. And so this one is done with Gutmann. And I did have this one fairly recently and I liked it, but I didn't have it where I could compare it to the other one. So I'm interested there. We've also got Jack's Abbey Copper Legend. Jack's Abbey's from Massachusetts. And they made their Copper Legend Oktoberfest Lager. And then I have two from the Philadelphia area where I'm from. One is Victory Fest Beer. which has been around a while and is very good beer. And then we've got from 2SP, which is in Delaware County, their Delco Fest lager. Never had this one before. Looking forward to having it. My wonderful wife poured them out for me, and so I have no idea which one is which. I've got them in 6 glasses here, and I'm excited to give them a try. I know that if I pick something other than the ones from Germany, I'm probably going to get a hard time as far as saying which one is the best. But you know, when you're doing a blind tasting, you don't know what you're going to say. There's a question here about Oktoberfest style beers. Are they supposed to be drank cold? Yes, I would definitely say it should be cold. There are lots of beers that I don't think have to be cold, but for me, these beers, I would drink them cold. I don't know that they need to be like, you know, super ice cold, make your hand hurt while you're holding the glass kind of thing. And as far as drinking beer out of frosted glasses, that's an always no for me. Never a frosted glass. All that does is water down the beer. It's like putting ice in your beer. I don't understand it at all. I don't want to hold a freezing cold glass, and I don't want ice in my beer. And yes, the glasses, the spots on my flight boards here are lettered, actually, not numbered, but close enough. And I have a little key that my wife made so that I can tell which one is which when I'm finished with them. So I'm gonna try the first one, and it's, well, you would think it would be A, but it's D, just based on where I picked the first one up from. It's a nice copperish color. Had a little bit of head when it was poured, but it's gone down a bit. So, Prost. Did I say that right? That's good. Very tasty. Good solid lager, good solid. It's got that Oktoberfest flavor, very recognizable flavor of this style. Again, I apologize if I say Marzen, because that's the way I've always heard it said here in the US. I do know in German that it's Märzen. But I like this one. From the first taste, I wouldn't give it a rating yet, Matthew. One taste does not a rating make. But I like that. I will come back to it. This next one is a much lighter color beer, quite golden. No head on it at this point, although most of them have gone down a bit. Let's give this a taste. I like that. It's much lighter. It has much less of the strong Oktoberfest sort of flavor. There is a hint of it there, but it's a good beer. Say the O like let's go O's. So that's Prost, right? Is that right? That's RES 915 SQD. Thanks for the hint. Okay. I think the first one I like better than the second one. And then we're going to this one. The color's a little bit in between. It's a little darker than the last one. And it's got a little bit of sediment moving around in there, a little hazier in color. Very good, actually. I like this one a lot. Go Penn State, Scott. I agree with you. I'm not going to chug. That's not my thing. I'm trying to get the taste of it. I like that one. Very good. Ian, I try IPAs all the time. I've liked a lot of them. I mostly focus on Belgian beers and English style beers and things like that, but I have at least one IPA every week. I like some better than others. Rarely are they my very favorite, but I do like them. Okay, on to the next one. This maybe is the darkest one of the group. It's similar in color to that very first one, but it's got an unfiltered look to it. So that definitely has a different kind of flavor to it. General flavor profile is similar, but this one is a bit of a richer taste. I like that. That's very traditional Oktoberfest taste for me. All right, Warren, about Weyerbacher, I see your question. I haven't been up there in a while. I've been to their brewery in Easton a couple of times, but it's been a while. They've changed. The brewery has changed hands a couple of times. I will say that their traditional year-round beers that I still see out, I do like. And I don't think they've changed much. I think they've been consistent with the way they make their beer from the previous owners. I know that there's a lot of stuff that they've made over the years. They make a lot of big beers. They have a lot of Belgian style beers. Their Tiny, which is a Belgian style stout, is a fantastic beer. I do like Weyerbacher a lot. Zachary, I have been to Texas. I ran the Houston Marathon in 2023 and enjoyed it, enjoyed Houston, and had some good beer while I was there. Okay, on to the next one. This is another unfiltered but light in color beer. So I like this much better than the other light colored one. This is a very good flavor. I'm gonna have to go back through these again, I guess, but that's all right. They're all good. It's good. I like it. And the final one, this is another unfiltered looking beer. A little paler than the last one, but not far off. Key West Chris, this is a blind tasting. I don't yet know which ones I'm drinking, so I'm trying to evaluate which ones I like the best, and then I have a key here set up by my wife to tell me which one's which. Matthew, I saw, I don't know if you asked this the first time, but I did see the question go by about Pilsners, and I don't know that I can tell you why I don't particularly like Pilsners. There's something in that flavor that just sort of hits my taste buds the wrong way. I have tried them. I don't know if it's that the profile is somewhat similar, like a lot of the traditional pale lagers, mass-produced beers that are sold in the US are called Pilsners, or sometimes they're Pilsner style. And I don't know if it's, from back when I was in college when I drank a lot of really what I thought of as bad beer. I don't know if Schaefer beer is still around, but we drank a lot of Schaefer beer, and that stuff was garbage. Sorry to anybody who likes Schaefer beer. But there's something about that taste that just hits me the wrong way. And I like other Czech lagers, like the Tmave kind of lagers. I like those a lot. But just a straight Pilsner, I still haven't found one that really goes, oh yeah, all right, here's one that I like. Okay, so this one is good as well. So all six of them have been good. I can definitely say the one I liked the least, which was the clear, light-colored one, the second one that I tried, which is letter E on the board, is my least favorite. I'm going to check the other ones out again. Josh, as far as a meetup, people have asked me. I haven't really done that sort of thing, not formally. I mean, I suppose I could do it. I have followers kind of distributed all over the place, not even within the same country. I sort of did an accidental meetup in Edinburgh in Scotland when I was there last month, when some people had suggested a certain brewery to me, and I had mentioned that that I would like to go to that one. And then I went there, tiny little place, and there were a bunch of people there who knew who I was. So I sort of indirectly did a meetup, and that was cool. I enjoyed it. I certainly always enjoy meeting people. I get recognized occasionally, and it's fun. It's a little strange for me, but I do enjoy it. I'm going to go quickly back to the one that I think this is the one I liked the best. Yes. So I'm gonna, let's see. I don't think I brought a pen. I want to write them down in order that I like them. There may be a pen right here. Sorry for walking out of the screen, there isn't, so I am woefully unprepared. But all right, I'm just gonna say D is the one I liked the best, and I believe B is my second best. The other ones are sort of, and again, E was my least favorite. Anthony, I do not do dry periods before a marathon. In fact, beer is absolutely part of my carb loading that I'll do before the marathons. It all works just fine for me. I've been running for I guess it's 14 years now. I did not run growing up. I didn't start running till I was in my 40s, and I hadn't. I used to say that if you would put all the distances that I had run in my life end to end, I was pretty sure they didn't add up to a mile. However, I then went out and ran right when my wife was pregnant with my son. I weighed about 65 pounds more than I do now, and running really kind of changed my life. So at this point, it's harder to run now. It's harder to run marathons and all as I get older, but running as much as I do allows me to drink all this beer and still stay fit. So I kind of like that. So I saw Bennett threw some letters down. Oh, you're just marking down what I've said so far. All right, I appreciate it, Bennett. Desert Shave Den, Unibrew, Le Fin du Monde, and the St. Bernardus Wit are both fantastic beers. So cheers to that. C, I would say, is my third favorite. So I'm going DBC blank blank E. And so then I just have to sort out A and F. A then F. DBC A F E. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note of that. I could have done this all along. My computer's right here. I could have just done it on here, but instead I'm looking around for a pen because I'm a dummy. Jessica, the Pittsburgh Marathon, I have not, that's the one thing I've got. The older I get, the more I look for flat marathons. And I know the Pittsburgh Marathon is not flat at all. So it hasn't been high on my list, although I've heard it's a good race. Raul, my diet isn't, during the week, I'm pretty careful about what I eat, and I don't drink beer other than on Fridays and Saturdays. On the weekends, I drink beer and I eat whatever I want. And I found a few years back that if I didn't eat enough on the weekends, that I was losing too much weight and getting too thin. And I was hearing that from people that love me, that I shouldn't get too thin. So I try to stay right about where I am, and just maintaining. I'm not doing the Philly Marathon. I'm running the Rehoboth Beach Marathon in December. Been training for it, and it's great. I'm excited for it. I don't know if it's great. I haven't done it before, but the training's been going well, and I'm excited for that race. That'll be my 15th marathon, and I'm excited for it. So I'm going to take a quick look here at which beers are which now that I wrote out my order. Okay, so I was my number one winner was the Eyinger Oktoberfest Märzen, which is not a surprise. That's a world-class Munich, Munich or Bavaria. I guess I think they are Munich based Oktoberfest. So that's cool. My second one was the 2SP Delco Fest. So way to go, 2SP. Again, they're in Aston, Pennsylvania, which is down kind of near the airport in Philadelphia. If you're from around here, you might know it. That was a really good beer. Third is the Schneider Weiss Festweiss. So again, going back to Germany for that one. Sorry about that, Warren. Thanks for the tip. So Eyinger, you know what? And I knew that as you write it. They're from Eying. They're not from Munich, but they are from Bavaria. Close enough. Okay, so that I mentioned the Eyinger, the 2SP, the Schneider Weiss. The next one was, where did I go? The Victory Fest beer, which is cool. That's always a good beer. Like I said, I've had it before. It's been a while, but very good beer. Then after that, where did I go? The Jack's Abbey, Copper Legend. And last was the Sierra Nevada, which is interesting because, again, I had that one. I had it not all that long ago. But in competition, I guess, direct competition with these other Oktoberfest beers as I'm tasting them together, I didn't like it as much as the others. They've had some, the Sierra Nevada collaborations that they do. They've had some in the past that I think have just been fabulous. This one this year is good. I guess it maybe just doesn't measure up to those. So it's a fun time of year. I was thinking about doing this again when it comes to maybe Christmas beers, holiday beers. I really like those. Those are kind of my favorite beers of the year as far as, seasonal stuff goes. So I'll think about doing that again. Sam, I don't know because I have to look at how many of these I've had before and how many I haven't. At least a few of them are new, so it'll up the number by a couple. Anthony, Anchor has been bought. I don't know if you saw that, but the Anchor Brewery was bought by the guy who owns, I'm forgetting, it's one of the big yogurt companies, Chobani. The owner of Chobani bought Anchor Brewing and planning to bring it back. So you may see Anchor Christmas again. That's another one like the Sierra Nevada that they make it slightly different every year. And that's exciting. I've talked before about how Anchor Steam was one of those beers that really set me on a journey with beer. And so I was really glad to see that happen. I was sad when I saw that the Anchor Brewery was going away. Thank you, Key West Chris. I hadn't seen that they were planning to have a Christmas beer this year, but that's great news. Going to take another drink of my winter there. I've seen a lot of questions fly by here that I know I haven't answered, and I apologize. Justin, you asked about Dock Street. Dock Street is an interesting story. When I was in college, in my sort of, so I went to multiple schools during my college career, whether it was undergrad or post-bac or things like that. I was in Philadelphia. I was working as a waiter briefly at TGI Fridays on the Parkway in Philadelphia. And this is in the early 90s. And right across the street from that TGI Fridays was, and by the way, Victory now has their Philadelphia brewery that's in the same spot as that Fridays that I worked in. And right across the street there in the early 90s was the original Dock Street Brew Pub. And so this was a brand new thing. There weren't a lot of places like that. And they were making their traditional amber lager, which there was nothing really like it around. Samuel Adams came out at a similar time and had a similar kind of sense to the beer, but Dock Street was there. And I used to go into their place and I always enjoyed it. Years later, in relatively recent years, Dock Street had several locations in Philadelphia. Their South Philadelphia location is really cool. They make a lot of good beer, including some sort of reinvented versions of those old beers that they made back then. So it's been very cool to check that out again. Thanks, Nick, for the if you like this beer, try this one instead. I used to do them as don't drink that, drink this. That got people a little more riled up, which helped to get views, but didn't necessarily make people super happy. But that's okay. I would still do them if I had a valid one to do. But I found that if you like this, try this. I can use kind of some of the same popular source beers for suggestions for other beers that maybe people don't know as well. Ted, Eric, I keep track of all the beers on Untapped. Actually, if you watch my video from today, I talked about that specifically. It's an app that I found back in 2014. It's been really useful for me to track my beers. Colin, I am not going to the Penn State Illinois game tomorrow night. I wish that I were, but I'm not. I was at the game against Bowling Green. I would love to get to another game this year, but I don't know if it's necessarily in the cards. Josh, the Cillian Murphy thing, 20 people a day on these apps tell me that. I don't entirely get it, but I wish I had his money. That would be cool. Etienne, my favorite brewery from Quebec is definitely Unibrew. I love that brewery. As a big fan of Belgian beer, it's hard to beat a place that's almost all they do is Belgian beer, and they do it so well. I know they're not from Belgium, so they're technically, I guess, Belgian style beers, but they are fantastic. I've been to some events. I've met their head brewer once or twice at some events on Philly Beer Week years ago. They used to come and have an event here. And I have had a plan to go to Montreal several times that got scuttled because of COVID and things like that. But one of the main reasons I wanted to go up there, aside from the fact that it's supposed to be a great city, is to go to Chambly and check out the brewery. So one of these days, I'll get there. I'm spending a lot of time talking and not a lot of time drinking these beers. Cheers. Evan, believe it or not, I haven't been to Belgium yet. I've wanted to go for years. My wife and I have our 20th anniversary next summer, and we've talked about making it a trip to Belgium and to the Netherlands. I would love to do it. I hope we can do it. My wife, she's very supportive. She's not as into beer as I am, but she likes beer. But it's, on our recent UK trip, if you were following that along with that at all on my various accounts, I did a lot of beer stuff, but the whole trip wasn't beer. It was a family vacation. Belgium kind of feels like there'll be a lot of beer involved in that trip. And she says she wants to do it, so, maybe we will. I love so much of the beer there. I've talked about St. Bernardus and how much I love that beer, and those guys were awesome and sent me some beer and a shirt and bottle opener and stuff this week, which I really appreciated. Sam, the Delirium tap room, that area in Brussels where there's those several Delirium places all on the same block. I've read about it. I've seen pictures of it. I can't wait to go there. Like, I love Delirium. I love every beer I've had from them. I'm very excited to go there and check it out. Back to another one of these beers. What are you all drinking right now? These are all really good. You can't go wrong. Luckily, I picked a bunch of good beers. There isn't a stinker in the bunch. I will definitely make quite a number of videos from Belgium when I get there. That'll be exciting. Also, obviously, not to give short shrift to Germany, because I got to get to Bavaria in a big way. As you could see, I didn't even know how to pronounce Prost, so I definitely haven't been there yet. but I'm very excited to go there. I know, aside from the beer, these are great countries and there's so much to see there, and I'm very excited to do that. But Belgium also really kind of screams out to me because my favorite meal is mussels and frites, and I love Belgian chocolate. I like it's just it's a place for me. I'm very excited to go there. Justin, a lot of people have mentioned Pilsner Urquell, I assume is how that's actually pronounced. I try to get my pronunciations right. I'm not always accurate, but once somebody corrects me, usually I'll get it right from there on in. But again, I'm not a big Pilsner fan. I will try that one sometime soon because so many people tell me how great it is. Andy, I apologize for the natural light video. Honestly, a lot of people are getting on me on that about that video, but if you watch it, I didn't say it that I thought it was the worst beer in the world. I said I went to do some research to determine what people thought was the worst beer in the world based on all of these lists and rating sites and all that kind of thing. And that one was the winner to me. I haven't had that beer in many years. Honestly, I'm not terribly interested in having it, but I appreciate why people, either really enjoy a beer or it's their go-to beer for one reason or another. And if they like it, they like it. Like everybody should drink what they like. I don't have any criticism there. I think that, even in my videos about don't drink that, drink this, it was just, it was more of, hey, you like this one, for this one time, don't drink that one, drink this one and tell me what you think. Or maybe you'll like it better, or maybe you'll like it just as much, or maybe you won't like it at all. I have no idea. But I want people to try different beer. There's so much good beer out there. Like there's a whole world of beer available to all of you. And it's cool. It's great. I think that it's a shame, the people who like to make the everyday, there's a joke where they're like, well, I haven't had 2,600 different beers, but I've had this one beer 2,600 times. It's funny. And if you love it, great. But I do drink the ones I really like, more often, but usually I want to find something new. I want to try something else. Why do I want to drink the same beer over and over again? Even if it's great. I talk about how much I love St. Bernardus, but since 2014, and I check in every beer on Untapped, every beer I drink, I've had St. Bernardus 50 sometimes. I want to try something else. There, even just in that style, Belgian quads. There are so many of them. If I find a new one, I'm absolutely trying that one. You can't go wrong with the ones you love, but why not try something new? It's like eating the same thing for every meal. Like find some good new food. It's worth checking out. I'll answer a couple more questions and I'll probably get going. I know, I don't know how long I'm going to keep you all here, but Warren, Unibrew Terrible or Terrible, I'm never sure how they pronounce it in French. It would be Terrible, right? Absolutely one of my favorite beers in the world. I've only ever rated on Untappd like 5 beers as 5 stars, and that's one of them because I love that beer. Like nobody ever has it. You can't find it anywhere anymore. I believe they're still making it, but I haven't seen it in the Philadelphia area in a while, but I love that beer. Ian, I know there are great breweries throughout Jersey. I've only been to a few. Somehow I don't manage to get to them very much, but I know there are a bunch that I should get to. Thank you, Mac, for appreciating my videos. I am so appreciative of everybody who watches these things. I do these videos because some folks in my family convinced me to do them because they knew how much I like talking about beer. I didn't really figure anybody was going to care, but it's been great to have all these people watching it. I haven't cleaned up the rest of the room so much to show the beer cave, other than the glassware behind me. I will tell you, sitting right here, still in the box, is my Samuel Adams Utopias that the brewery sent me. I am looking for a great opportunity to open that thing up and share it with some friends because I know you can keep reclosing that beer like it's not going to go bad. You don't drink it cold. It's something that you can keep opening and closing. But I want to share it with some folks, and I'm looking for a great opportunity. Either that or I will open it initially for maybe my 2,700th different beer, something like that, and make it a special occasion. I do still have sitting here on my bar the beer that I drank in the 2,500th beer video, the Wendigo from Anchorage Brewing Company. That thing was amazing. I also have a very large bottle. This was, speaking of St. Bernardus, so this was a 2012 very large St. Bernardus bottle that I aged for 9 years before I opened it up and shared it with some friends, and it was just spectacular. Even better than it would have been at the time that I got it. That's a beer that, I got a little nervous at 9 years. I was like, at some point, maybe this thing isn't going to start, isn't going to keep getting better, but it was still really great at that point. Bennett, for Deschutes, for the Belgian Quad, are we talking about the Stoic? Because if so, I love that beer. It's a great beer. I like Deschutes. I was there when I was in Portland, the Portland brew pub that they have, and had a bunch of really great beers there that I enjoyed a lot. Magnus, thank you for watching. I'm glad you found me recently. I appreciate that. Evan, I am not on death row. Don't worry about that. That was just an idea for a video. My idea for death row, I assume that was in reference to the Utopias. Fortunately for me, Samuel Adams, the brewery, saw my video, and they wanted to get me the beer without me having to be on death row. So that was a big positive. They sent it out to me. They also mentioned to me the idea of coming to their brewery and doing a vertical tasting of multiple years of Utopias, which will happen sometime in 2025. That will definitely be something I make videos about, and I'm excited to do that when the time comes. Ted, I would love to come to Finland, whether it's for expensive beer or cheap beer or whatever. I'd love to go to Finland. I'd love to check out whatever beer they have, as well as everything else there is to see in Finland. John, sorry about your shoulder being broken. That sucks. I will toast you and to your recovery. Ethan, thanks for joining. I think you caught us just before we're gonna hang up for the day. But this has been going on for a little bit. I appreciate everybody that's been here. And Justin, I don't have a collection of old beer openers. We talked about Unibrew. I have an Unibrew opener sitting right here, and nothing else particularly exciting. I believe it or not, I mentioned working at Fridays all those years ago. I have a wine key that was my wine key when I was a waiter that long ago. I use this to open up a lot of the beers. Works just as well now as it did back then. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate y'all being here. I will do this again. I mentioned, maybe I'll do it for Christmas beers or holiday beers, because I think that would be fun, and I love those beers so much. Maybe I'll make this a more regular occurrence. It's nice to get the participation, and it's nice to be seen by everybody. Thank you so much.